Connor Bennett, BBC Radio Suffolk.
So some good news for motor enthusiasts around Suffolk in recent weeks, as Anglia Motor Sport Club has been selected as Motorsport UK's Club of the Year winner for 2022. Come on! The club was established in 2013 with the award recognising their efforts in enabling the development of new approaches and groundbreaking initiatives to break down the barriers throughout the sport. With a competition of over 700 nationwide clubs that they've left in their dust, I wanted to find out more about the club and the award and invited them into the studio for a little chat.
Hi, I'm Laura and I'm the Club Development Officer at Anglia Motor Sport Club. My main motorsport is rallying, but I've been involved in motorsport and the club my entire life, but particularly volunteering for the last 3 or 4 years.
Hi, I'm Dan Pearson, Chairman of Anglia Motor Sport Club. My main sports are auto solos and trialling. Very often found organising or secretarying an event.
Hi, I'm Brian Hemmings. I started my motorsport a lot of years ago now, too many to remember. I'm now currently treasurer of the Anglia Motor Sport Club, also a member of the West Suffolk Motor Club, and basically involved in lots of organising and events generally.
So, I'm joined in the studio, as you've heard there, by the Anglia Motor Sport Club, and the Anglia Motor Sport Club have just won a prestigious award. So, first and foremost, Laura, tell us all about it.
Oh, we have indeed. Well, it's very exciting news. So we've just been announced of winning Motorsport UK's, which is the national governing body for our sport, their Club of the Year 2022. There's, over 700 motorsport clubs across the UK operating within the same national governing body. So for us to win that award of being the best club in the UK, in 2022 is a massive privilege. And it's, great to be rewarded for all our hard work.
And so, Dan, as chairman, you must be absolutely buzzing with the award. Is it kind of representation of all the hard work that goes into the club?
Yeah, really proud of all the member clubs who have been part of it. Anglia Motor Sport Club is made up of 12 individual clubs, and we've all worked together to achieve what we've come out with.
Brian, you've mentioned there that you've been in motorsport for a long, long time. So I'm going to get you all to tell me a bit about where the love for the motorsport has started. But you've had an interesting kind of way into the sport, a bit like Laura's.
Yeah, absolutely. It started in rallying, but getting much involved in club sports generally. And I think that's why 10 years ago, when I was very involved with the West Suffolk Motor Club, and it was becoming apparent that clubs in this region in Suffolk could be a lot more effective working together, which is why we kicked off Anglia Motor Sport Club. It's been a 10-year journey, and it's great to get the award now, which sort of recognises the successes we've had during this journey. And
I think, as well, a special mention to you guys, because we mentioned it's an Anglia Motor Sport Club, but 3 of the fundamental people that run the club, all from Suffolk. Round of applause for all of you. Well done. We love that. Laura, with motorsport, is there a misconception that it's kind of hard to get into? Can it be difficult to get into, or is that just a myth?
I think it's a myth. A lot of people, what we see on TV, high-profile sports, Formula 1, it all seems very unobtainable. But in reality, anybody can get involved in motorsport. And the 3 of us all got involved, at the very start from the grassroots. And so for me, it was starting in a road car, no modifications, your bog standard Citroen Saxo pretty much. And I started with production car trials, which were a brilliant grounding for me in learning car control. And there's so many motorsport disciplines that you can take part in just using your own road car. Very cheap. You can have a full day's motorsport for sort of about £30, the same cost as a football ticket. With our national governing body, you need a licence to take part, but it's actually completely free of charge. So it's very, very affordable, very easy to get involved, and actually all the motorsport disciplines we run through Anglia Motorsport Club, anybody can get involved in, and actually most of those you could get involved in using your car that you have, today, driving around and about.
Dan, as well, sitting here in front of me, 3 generations of people that are just so enthusiastic.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great rapport between all the clubs and everybody who competes. We often see families come along and join in. Laura, for example, with mum and dad competing. Your brother was out on New Year's Day competing with his dad. It's just a really good family ethics, really, what we do. So
I think it's a myth that you have to compete in motorsport. There's many ways you can get involved in motorsport, through marshalling, through helping organise, and it's really easy to get in through those routes as well.
And this award then, guys, it's a massive achievement. 700 clubs nationwide were up for this, and you guys have won it. So what does it mean to the club in terms of being recognised, you know, a bit of a needle in a haystack, if that makes sense? Because it's a massive pool of clubs, and to win this award is quite outstanding.
For us, it brings great weighting into grassroots motorsport. So for us as Anglia Motor Sport Club, our passion is clubmen, you know, getting people involved at the grassroots, which is where everybody has to start. We focus a lot on those sorts of disciplines, and to be recognised nationally for the work that we're doing at that particular level of motorsport, which isn't, you know, covered as widely as the elite and, you know, Formula One and the sort of other disciplines, touring cars, things like that are sort of seen far more widely. It's really, really important, and it's also great because we've been quite innovative with a lot of the initiatives that we've launched over the last year, such as our Get Into Motorsport and Better Together, which I know we spoke about previously. So it's great to be sort of recognised as leading the way across the country with a lot of the things that we've put on. And we're also hoping that clubs across the country will follow us with some of the things that we're doing, because for us, we just want to progress and develop motorsport as a whole. There's lots of things we'd like to, you know, we want to bring it into the 21st century and have it, you know, grow as much as various other sports. So that's what we're really passionate about, and the award sort of gives weighting to our values and the work that we've been doing towards that.
Dan, would you say that there's a bit of an imbalance about motorsport compared to other sports? Especially in recent years, I found motorsport has really, whether that's, you know, like Laura mentioned, F1, touring car rally, the whole thing is massively supported now. There's a massive cult following for motorsport in this country.
Yeah, there's a huge following for it, but unfortunately our sport doesn't get the coverage necessarily what other sports always get. You often see football, rugby, etc. on the TV. The sort of grassroots level motorsport doesn't sort of get the coverage. We do have some sort of great write-ups in local newspapers, but other than that, it's very much behind closed doors almost and not really seen. But hopefully we can break those barriers down and get it out there.
And there's so many clubs involved in you know, individual clubs involved in your umbrella club. What's the dynamic between the clubs? Is it all, you know, is there a little bit of Norfolk-Suffolk divide, that sort of thing?
So Anglia Motor Sport Club, Suffolk, Norfolk, Essex, Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire, and within each county we've got multiple motorsport clubs as part of us. So we are an umbrella club. Various other motorsport clubs, so pretty much all the motorsport clubs in those regions are part of our club. And the reason we started was, you know, that collaborative working. So what you spoke about in terms of people maybe not getting on, that was a thing. You know, motorsport clubs were each trying to put on their own events, trying to succeed, almost battling for competitors, but also struggling. So the reason we came together was to share resources to secure the future of our sport and work together. And it's worked brilliantly. Over the 10 years that Anglia Motor Sport Club has been in place, we've seen, you know, all the motorsport clubs take real strides and begin this sort of brilliant collaborative working, and we're all pooling our resources together, whether that's equipment, marshals, any way we can. All the clubs will come together to help each other out, and because of that we've really been able to strengthen motorsport in East Anglia.
And Brian, from your position, you've been involved in this for a long time. Does it make you feel comfortable and confident that people in this area that really are passionate and have a love for motorsport, does that fill you with confidence that the sport can continue to grow in the next few years?
Yeah, absolutely. It's what's going to make it work going forward. You know, some of the challenges that we're actually facing on kind of awareness to the public generally, so bringing younger people that we're starting to see more and more coming on board now, which is really fantastic. We seem to go through a few years when the kind of people joining the sport was a bit limited, but now we're growing again, and it's really great news.
With the pandemic, did that have a big part to play in where the club was? Did that have an effect, do you think?
It did. I think it did two things. One, we found ourselves being more and more innovative in finding ways around the problems and the challenges of not getting together. I think the other thing that it's highlighted to us is just how important the social aspect is. Not getting to meet people at events, etc. We all really missed it, and now it's happening again. It's fantastic again.
And I think as well, my experience in motorsport, competitors, fans, sports, it's a very good community. Whilst my brother-in-law, who's a mad Ferrari fan and won't hear a bad word about Charles Leclerc at all, it's very much like the sport umbrella in itself. They all seem to kind of support each other. Is that a massive positive that maybe another sport doesn't have, would you say, Laura?
We're certainly a very welcoming bunch. I think the ethos and the culture that we've been able to create in our region is so family orientated and welcoming. Everybody wants everybody to succeed. Yes, of course, there's always competition, people want to do well, but it's friendly, and people will, give up. For example, in a lot of motorsport disciplines, if you're having car troubles, another car will come and help you out, their service crew, whoever, they'll give you their equipment. You all dig in to try and support each other because you all want to finish, you all want to have a good time. And also there's the marshalling aspect. That is a massive sort of social gathering, actually. People come along with their friends, family, and have a brilliant day out watching the motorsport being a big part of it. So it's really, really social.
And Dan, tell me about the different sports that are involved in the club. So, there must be loads of different sports in there.
Yeah, so we start off with sort of 12-car road rallies, which you can do in your general road car. Then we go to auto tests and auto solos, again, to take part in your road car from the age of 14, competing. Car trials, again, very similar, start off at a young age, right through to the stage rallying, sprinting, and just general, all sorts of just club, just activities we can take part in. There's all sorts of things, something for everybody.
The club was established in 2013, so approaching 10 years now. In those 10 years, would you say that you've seen the club grow? And is this award, is this a kind of a recognition of the growth that the club's had?
Yeah, absolutely. The club originally started off with just 3 member clubs. We're now 12, and of those member clubs, some of those are celebrating 100-year anniversaries. So yeah, the clubs within Anglia Motor Sport have been around a long while, and there's a wealth of expertise out there.
Yeah, anybody that's interested, more than welcome to come along. In fact, we now actually have a mechanism whereby you can connect with us and we can help people discover what it is they're really interested in.
Really? Okay.
For us, we just want everybody and anybody to be able to get involved, whether you want to compete or you just want to get involved in terms of marshalling, organising. There's so much you can do behind the scenes to still be, really closely involved with motorsport. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to drive a car around a field. So we really encourage people to get involved in whatever capacity and to bring their strengths into the sport, whether it's people who might have a massive passion for putting on events. That's obviously a massive part of motorsport, so we can really cater for everyone. And like Brian said, if people are interested but don't quite know what there is, because we are a little bit behind the scenes, then people are more than welcome to get in contact with us or any of our member clubs, and we will point you in the right direction.
A lot of people listening might be thinking that's bonkers, what is it about it? Why is it the adrenaline rush? You must have seen some things, Brian, over that illustrious career in it.
Yeah, I think the key thing is that it's not dangerous, because the safety measures that are there are extreme, so it is safe in that sense. But it's just the sheer kind of experience of travelling at that sort of speed, the amount of control you have to put into it, and not all the disciplines are speed-based. So trials, it's the skill in driving a vehicle up a muddy hill or something like that. So it's all about the skill and actually being able to compete with that skill and match yourself against other people.
Yeah, again, literally echo what Brian said. It's not all about speed necessarily. It's car skill and car handling. My passion is trials and solos, which is exactly that. It's sort of how awareness of the width of your car and getting through a gate as quick as you can is in a tidy manner. And
it is absolutely exhilarating. All of the sports, whether it's speed or skill. The sense of satisfaction you get at the end of that day when you finish your stage, finish your your hill section, whatever it is, that feeling is just the best. So getting to the end of a section, a stage, that sense of achievement you feel is just brilliant. So for me, rallying through the forest is brilliant, but I also just love to be able to use Anglia Motor Sport Club as a mechanism to get more people involved so that more people can enjoy those feelings that we've just been talking about.
So approaching the 10th year now, where do you want the club to be in the next 10 years? Where do you expect it to be?
I guess what we're looking for is to keep the sport alive and keep it up to date, because as the world is moving on, we're having to move with it. We're seeing electric vehicles coming into place. We're seeing more pressure on us to do things that can meet sustainability requirements, and that's all part of the process of organising motorsport events and all these other issues that the world around us is giving us challenges, and that's part of the enjoyment moving forward.
Well, the last thing I've got for you all, the club in 3 words. How would you describe it, Laura?
Friendly is the first one. Everyone is lovely. There's no one who isn't. Fun. It's just pure fun. And innovative. We're a very innovative club, forward-thinking. The initiatives that we're putting to place across, stand out across the country. So I think that's something I'm really proud of.
Chaps, follow that. Crikey.
I just think it's enjoyable, good value. I don't know.
So hard.
It's rewarding, it's fun, and it's exciting.
Bosh. I think I'm going to have to come and join, because...
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get you to an event, Connor.
There we go.
Sit you in a...
Sit me
you
in
can have a
something
go
fast.
at a production car trial, see how you get on.
Come on, I'm so up for that.
Bring that BBC Radio Suffolk Fiesta out.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't want to embarrass you guys. That's the thing.
Well, you don't need to worry about that.
The massive 1 litre, it's a bit too fast, if anything. So, Laura, tell us one more time where everyone can find the club.
Yep, so we're on Facebook and Instagram. If you search Anglia Motor Sport Club, it's just at Anglia Motor Sport Club, you'll be able to find us.
Big thanks to the aforementioned Anglia Motor Sport Club for coming into the studio there. You heard from Laura Coolidge. She is the Club Development Officer and an insane rally co-driver, might I add. Definitely worth checking her out on her socials through the page. Unbelievable what she does with her dad and her boyfriend. The racing they do is phenomenal. You also heard from Dan Pearson. He's the club chairman, and also Brian Hemmings as well, the club treasurer there. And like I say, all have massive individual loves and passions for their individual sports. So it's definitely worth checking it out. And as Laura said, if you have a taste for motorsport and you're interested in finding out a little bit more, head on over to their socials at Anglia Motorsport Club.